It's time for a spooky Crocktober recipe. Hey guys, Kira here from 50 Shades of Mom, or also known as the one who just thought that that silly voice was actually funny. But I am just excited, you guys, and in the spirit because tomorrow is Halloween, and it's also the last day of October when everybody shares Crocktober recipes. So Amanda over at Mom's Messy Kitchen reached out to a whole bunch of us and has been hosting a Crocktober series all month long, and I decided to jump in on the day before Halloween because I have an amazing recipe to share with you guys. So also jumping in on today's collab is Jackie All Things Domestic, so I'll make sure to leave both of their channels linked down below and their videos so you guys can check out what they're sharing for Crocktober. But like I said, I wanted to go out of Crocktober with a bang and share with you guys a crock pot dessert. Now this is a Reese's Pieces overload dessert made right in the crock pot, and I've had this recipe pinned on my Pinterest forever and I needed to make it. So you're going to need a 3.4 ounce package of a chocolate pudding mix. You're going to need a 1/4 cup and a 1/3 cup of peanut butter, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 3 eggs, 1 cup of milk, 1/3 cup sour cream, 1 box of Devil's Food Cake mix, and then here I have some peanut butter and chocolate chips. It was a mixed bag, but you're going to need 2 cups of peanut butter chips if you can find just that, or I'm using the chocolate peanut butter chips. You'll need some Reese's peanut butter cups, some Reese's Pieces, some non-stick cooking spray, and then of course you're going to need your crock pot. But that is it, you guys, and with all of the colors, this will just make a perfect Halloween dessert, and most of us have these ingredients right at home with the exception of the candy. So we're going to begin by taking our cake mix and pouring that into a bowl, and then you're going to add in your package of chocolate pudding mix, and you're going to use a whisk and just kind of mix together your dry ingredients so that you make sure they're all incorporated. Now we're going to add in our 1 cup of milk and our 3 eggs. You're going to add in your teaspoon of vanilla, your 1/3 cup of sour cream, your 1/4 cup of peanut butter, and then you're going to go ahead and stir all of that together. I actually thought this was going to be a little bit looser because it was a lot of eggs and liquid and stuff, but it actually was fairly thick and almost fudgy like once I was done mixing that all together. I did go back and use a spatula just to make sure that I scraped all the sides and got all the pudding and cake mix. And then now you're going to add in 2 cups of those peanut butter chips. I think that this recipe might have been better if it was all peanut butter chips, but the chocolate peanut butter chips just had to do because that was all that I can find. And so you're just going to go ahead and fold those in, and then now it's time for our crock pot. So I do have a liner in mine, but I still did spray it, and I would say spray the heck out of it anyways, because I thought I sprayed it a lot, and you'll still see at the end, I mean, my crock pot does cook super hot, but it did start to stick to the liner, and so I would suggest just spraying the heck out of it. I mean, you could really see down there where I coated everything, but I would just make sure you give your liner or your crock pot, if you're not using one, a really good spray down with that cooking spray. And then now it's just time to go ahead and load our batter in, and you're going to smooth it out so it's as even as possible so that you have a nice equal distribution while your cake is cooking. And then that's it, you guys. Once it's all smoothed out, we're just going to go ahead and put that lid on, and we're going to set this for 3 hours. Now, I told you guys that I found this recipe on Pinterest, and so it was a little confusing how the recipe is laid out, because it does tell you that the entire recipe should only take about 2 hours and 40 minutes with your cook time and your preparation, but that was at the top of the recipe, but down in the body of the recipe, it said to put this on for 3.5 to 4 hours. And I know that my crock pot runs hot. And so I just started with the 3 hours. I feel like this was a tad bit overdone. I started to smell it burning at about 2 hours and 40 minutes. And I had it cooked on low for 3 hours. So I definitely was a little bit disappointed because I feel like it could have been a little bit less crispy on the edges if it had only cooked for maybe 2 hours. And then I checked on it again. My crock pot runs super hot, but once you are all done and your cake is done and cooked, it should be soft and tender on the inside but firm on the outside. You're going to melt another 1/3 cup of peanut butter and you're just going to pour it on top of your cake and just make it almost like a frosting. And then now we're just going to decorate it. So this is a actual dessert I wanted to use tomorrow for Halloween, so I only plated one piece. I put the peanut butter on, but then I plated just a small piece of the cake with some Reese's Pieces and some peanut butter cups on there, just so I can show you guys how it looked. But when I took it out, I noticed that the sides were a lot more burnt than I was hoping for, and so I wanted to make sure this cake was okay, because this is the cake I was bringing with me to Vanessa's as part of our dessert. Rose absolutely loves anything peanut butter and chocolate, so I thought she would really enjoy this. So I was a little disappointed. So I took the entire liner out and put it on my countertop, and I peeled back all the layers, and it did stick to the sides a little bit. Like I said, that's why I probably should have sprayed it a little bit more. And then I measured it to the platter just to make sure that the platter I was using would fit it. I didn't want to go ahead and remove the liner and then this thing be too big. And so once I realized it was going to fit, I just used a spatula and I lifted up one side of the cake just so that I can slowly start to peel away the liner. And it took a little bit of manipulation. I kind of cracked the back a little bit trying to get the liner out, but this is supposed to be served right out of the crock pot warm. But being that I was bringing this somewhere and then the sides just got dark, I just want, like I said, I wanted to make sure that this was still going to be something that was worth bringing as a gift to a party that you're going to, as a contribution to the desserts. So I measured it out to the platter, and I do feel like that end piece was just a little bit too crispy. That one side, that's the side that just runs hot in my crock pot. So I am a little disappointed because it's not like a perfect circle, but you know, it is what it is. It's not like this is a cooking competition. I'm bringing it to a friend's house, and it still tastes amazing. That plate that we plated, every single one of us took a bite of, and we thought it was so good. So I ended up going back and melting a little bit of peanut butter just so that I can kind of cover up that side that was broken, just so that it looked a little bit more aesthetically pleasing to the eye. And then I did just go ahead and decorate the whole thing. I wasn't even going to do that. I was going to add the extra Reese's Pieces and the peanut butter cups when we plugged the crock pot back in and got it warm at Vanessa's tomorrow, but there's no way I was plugging this thing back in because it just would have gotten, you know, even darker than I wanted. So I was like, okay, you know what? This is fate. We're going to share with everybody exactly how the finished product would have looked instead of just a piece. And so now I just went ahead and threw some of the Reese's Pieces on the top, and then I crushed up some peanut butter cups, you guys, and that was really it. And I can guarantee that if you just take the time of your cook time down just a little bit, and I'm sure your crock pot doesn't run as hot as mine, this is going to cook up absolutely amazing. I mean, we were kind of picking pieces out of that center, and it is super moist. I don't get the vanilla out of it, but you can tell that the sour cream just really made it so super moist and delicious, and you can taste all the peanut butter inside, like the peanut butter chips and the regular peanut butter that we put onto the inside. We can just taste it everywhere, and it was so good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you go down to the description box and head over to Amanda and Jackie's channel and see what they're cooking up for Crocktober. I hope you guys have a super happy and safe Halloween, and if you guys make this recipe, make sure to tag me. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I love you guys all so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.